Good morning. How you doing? It is a Wednesday. Mike. What day is it? Mike, January 15th at 6:04 in the morning here in western Iowa, where the temperature is in the single digits, but not much wind. Wind chill's barely below zero, so it's kind of warm. It's warming up. But I tell you what, we have that Arctic cold front poised to hit us really just in time for the weekend and spreading across pretty much the whole country. And then will we see a storm in the south with ice and snow? It's starting to look more likely. Let's go through it. We'll start with the snow depth this morning across the country. Midwest, even Kansas into Missouri, still hanging on to quite a bit of snow on the ground. It's been cold enough for it to not melt much, and that stretches all the way through the Midwest into the Ohio Valley and especially West Virginia. And so, we're still hanging on to that snow. And there's massive amounts of lake effect snow, especially eastern Great Lakes in the last couple of days. If you were watching Tornado Pagey, her live stream yesterday, snow, really visibility's down to 100 feet or less at times. I've never seen so much snow. It was awesome. So link in the description if you want to follow her, and I think you should. So what's it going to look like in a couple weeks? So this is 11 days worth of snow according to the GFS model. And do you notice something? San Antonio snow, Houston snow, getting down towards Corpus Christi, Dallas, Shreveport, most of Mississippi, Alabama, and pretty heavy in Alabama into central Tennessee. If we go by this, if this comes true, now remember, this is 11 days worth of snow on the model, so a lot of uncertainty. This will change, but just to give you an idea of what might be coming, and we have increasing confidence that there'll be something in the south. So Nashville, you could see, according to this, a foot of snow. I don't know. But you get up the Appalachians and into New York State, even places like Erie, Pennsylvania. You're getting up to 3, 4 feet of snow here, maybe even 5 feet of snow off of Lake Ontario into northern New York. So just kind of crazy with that cold air. And here's how cold it could be the morning of January 21st. This is kind of the coldest morning for the whole country. And we have freezing temperatures in the 20s in Portland, Oregon, and near zero for Portland, Maine. You have 20s all the way down to Houston. You have freezing temperatures almost down to McAllen, Brownsville in Texas. You have Tucson in the 20s on this map, 20s also into the Florida Panhandle. And then look at the below zeros go all the way to I-70 in Missouri. Dodge City, Kansas, Salina, Kansas, single digits above or below zero down to Kentucky. So a very cold morning, January 21st. And the high is not a whole lot better. The West Coast, you're getting in the 40s, maybe some 50s. Tucson, a place that's pretty warm even this time of year, only 52. But then you get, especially east of the Rockies, where that cold air is going to be banked in. And you have 20s across Texas, even freezing temperatures for a high, say for Austin, and near freezing for San Antonio, and only mid-30s for Houston. And these high temperatures below freezing stretch through the south, especially the mid-south. And then you have the highs in teens and even single digits, especially Midwest, Great Lakes, and the Northeast. So that's what could be coming as far as the cold air. The confidence is very high. The cold air is coming. Just will we have a southern snow and ice storm? We'll see. It's starting to look like we'll have something somewhere. All right. Meanwhile, the hazards have lessened across the country. However, the bad news is the LA Basin, Southern California, is still dealing with a red flag warning and high fire danger. Just tragic situation. Freeze warnings also for parts of California. When you get up into Oregon, a little fog, I guess, a little bit of wind up there in the northern plains. We do have winter weather advisory for parts of West Virginia, and we have winter weather, or is that winter weather advisory? Dense fog I can't tell the color. Winter storm watch, I think is what that is. Okay. And then we have winter weather advisories for the eastern Great Lakes, but lesser amounts today and tomorrow than what we've had. All right, current temperatures out there. So we're in the single digits this morning. Yesterday morning we were below zero, so we've actually warmed up 10 degrees, but it's still 7. So it's cold in the Midwest through the Ohio Valley to start the day. And we do have those freezing temperatures all the way down into Texas, northern Louisiana, through parts of the South. So it's a cold start for many, even this morning. But we're going to start warming up a little bit in the plains. Surface today, a little bit of light snow perhaps for the Rockies. Again, some light snow up there in the Great Lakes, and it shows a mix here for the eastern Great Lakes. I think this would be mostly snow, but the amounts are going to be down. Rain for the Mid-South, thunderstorms for the South-South. Tomorrow, more snow for the Great Lakes, on the lighter side compared to yesterday. For the Northwest, it's rain or snow depending, and a little bit of rain down there in Florida. So, I mean, things have really quieted down for a couple of days before we really get going with the Arctic air this weekend, and then whatever winter storms may result from that. 48-hour precipitation, a little bit of rain along the Texas Gulf Coast, maybe Louisiana too. And the rest of that is snow up there in the Great Lakes. But, Lake Superior, Lake Michigan, under a foot, maybe under 6 inches, really. It's the eastern Great Lakes where we still have the possibility to get up towards maybe 10 inches or so for Erie, Pennsylvania, into southern New York off of Lake Erie. Lake Ontario kind of taking a break with up to 6 inches of snow. Not a lot for them, I guess. Then for Friday's surface, we continue with rain or snow depending. In the Ohio Valley up into the Great Lakes. Then it's rain mid-south, maybe a little freezing rain, West Virginia. Some thunderstorms for the south. And then here comes our cold front. So these are the fronts expected at 7 a.m. Friday, and that's barreling south through the Dakotas into Nebraska, expected to blow through Iowa during the day Friday, and then the temperatures are going to start to fall. So, and that'll be heading your way, Texas, and everybody else east of the Rockies. Let's show our work as we get over to the GFS. This is this morning. Not much going on. A little bit of light rain here in along the Texas Gulf Coast, but not a lot else going on. A little disturbance riding through the Great Lakes as we get through. This is 6 a.m. tomorrow, so this won't arrive until tomorrow, but that'll enhance some of the lake effect snow, enhanced lake effect snow, but still mostly on the lighter side. Then as we get into Friday, here we go. This low clears, as we've been talking about for the last few days, and then the cold air barrels south, maybe a little light snow along and behind the front as you get towards the eastern side of the Rockies. So, you're raising elevation and you've got cold air invading. And so we'll bring out a little bit of light snow here for eastern Colorado as we get into Saturday. Some rain, mostly moving through the south, changing over to snow for northern Ohio into the eastern Great Lakes, but it's rain south of Pennsylvania and maybe even a line of storms, but that cold air continues Saturday afternoon and evening, going into Sunday. Just cold, not a lot of precipitation. Arctic air is very dry, and so that's why a lot of times you don't have a lot of precipitation with Arctic air. But you start to see along the edges is where you're going to usually see your storms form, and I think that's what's going to happen here. This is MLK Day, Monday, a little bit of light snow in Kansas, and then that kind of disappears, and then here comes the fun. So as we get into next week, this is Tuesday, we're starting to see a little bit of light snow for Houston, maybe some ice for Corpus Christi. It's on the light side, but watch what happens on the run here as we get later in the week, next week. This is getting into Thursday. So this is midnight Wednesday, actually. So 7 days from now, will we see snow for Dallas, ice for Nacogdoches, rain for Houston, a little bit of snow getting into Shreveport. And then as we go, if this comes exactly true, which it won't, into Thursday morning, some heavy snow from Dallas to Paris, some ice moving into the south. And as that goes, we got a stripe of ice, we got some light snow, and we got some heavy rain along the Gulf Coast. And as this storm evolves, again, one possible solution, But the runs are getting more consistency on a southern storm, so I think something will happen. But some heavy snow here in northern Mississippi into Tennessee, central Tennessee especially, as we get into Thursday night. Heavy snow, West Virginia, ice into the Carolinas, and heavy rain, South Carolina. So a lot of snow here, Alabama through Nashville into Bowling Green, up into West Virginia. This low and the cold air behind it, if this comes true, really gets cranking as it moves through the mid-Atlantic and up north and west of it. Some very heavy snowfall, a stripe of ice. And again, if this low gets a little further off the coast, more snow towards the coast. If it stays here on the coast, rain on the coast, immediate coast, and heavy snows inland. And so this particular solution, now you know why the Eastern Great Lakes, when we talk the next 11 days of snow, why upstate New York could end up with 60 inches or more. You know, counting this storm, look at how tight those isobars are. These winds are howling and blowing that snow around. And we're starting to see some relief from the cold already in West Texas as we get into the 25th. So that takes us pretty far out here. So one possible solution on a possible southern snowstorm. Continue to stay tuned, but we're getting closer. Confidence is going up a little bit. We're pretty sure the Arctic air is coming. It's coming. 6 to 10 day temperature, just, yeah. The cold air is going to be here. West Coast, you might hang out near average or slightly above. 8 to 14 shows some moderation of the cold air, but still most of the country below average. This gets us into the 28th of January, so almost the end of the month. Precipitation-wise, not a lot on this. I mean, for the south and the southeast and the northern plains, but everyone else dry. And the 8 to 14 kind of reverses that a little bit, dry in the southwest. Like for here in Omaha, I'm not here in Omaha, I'm an hour away, and we've had a little bit more snow, but Omaha so far only 1 inch of snow this snow season, which is the second least snowiest in Omaha's history to date. And by the time we get to the end of the month, no snow is expected for Omaha. It will be the least snowiest year to date on record. So it's just crazy. But no snow in sight here in the Midwest. It's been cold, but that cold air has been dry. All right, that's our update. Could be a southern snowstorm coming, cold air for sure. We'll keep you posted as we go. I really appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in, The Weather Mike. We'll see you tomorrow.